Are you a football lover, and now you constantly hear the phrase sportswashing, but don't understand the meaning of this term? Watch this video to know all the crucial facts about sportswashing, why it's in the news, and most importantly, why Gulf countries like Saudi Arabia, the UAE and Qatar are accused of sportswashing. How Premier League club Newcastle United is under the radar by their fans for promoting Saudi colours on their new away kit. What is sportswashing? Sportswashing is the technique of using sport to enhance a person, group's, corporations or government's tarnished reputation, whether by hosting a sports event, purchasing or sponsoring sporting teams, or engaging in the sport itself. Many human rights organisations also refer to sportswashing as reputation laundering. It is regarded as a highly expensive form of propaganda. According to Grant Liberty, a human rights organisation, Saudi Arabia alone has spent roughly $1.5 billion on alleged sportswashing activities. This technique has been used by the Saudi government at the global scale to divert attention away from poor human rights records and corruption allegations at the individual or corporate level. How is Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund using Newcastle United for sportswashing? Newcastle eventually got a lifeline from a Saudi Arabia-led coalition, also known as the Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund, after 14 years of disappointments, relegations and shattered dreams. Thanks to the Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund's investment in the club, Newcastle is now one of the wealthiest football clubs in the world. Before the official announcement on October 7th, the deal had been widely speculated and discussed, with the possibility of the takeover repeatedly changing from absolute to absurdly doubtful. The Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund, or PIF, purchased Newcastle United for more than $400 million. This deal caused major controversy due to the fund's close connection with the Saudi royal family, particularly Crown Prince Mohamed Bin-Salman, who is strongly attached to the murder of the journalist Jamal Kashoggi, according to American intelligence. Saudi Arabia is a nation that many in the Western world like to categorize as oppressive owing to its beliefs about Israel, the LGBTQ+ community, women and migrant workers, as well as poor treatment of people within these groups. Even after all these allegations of murders and human rights violations, a lot of nations and companies still want to do business with Saudi Arabia because it is the biggest oil producer in the world. Knowing these details about Saudi Arabia and what sportswashing implies, one can put the pieces together to see how the Saudi royal family can exploit the acquisition of football teams to enhance its reputation and use Newcastle's fan base as their ambassadors. The Newcastle fans have given a mixed reaction after the news of acquisition of the club was made public. Some fans welcomed this decision by standing outside St James's Park, dressed as sheikhs. They got ecstatic at the idea of a team that hasn't competed in almost 2 decades, maybe asserting their place among Europe's best in the future. Being in the relegation zone at the time, the new owner let Steve Bruce go and hired Eddie Howe in his place. After a £94 million January spending spree, Howe led the North East team to an 11th place finish. They were the 3rd best team in the league after Man City and Liverpool after they came in as new owners. Despite all the joy and hope from some fans, this ownership deal is a part of an exceedingly unsettling and hazardous pattern in European football and sport in general. Although the Premier League claimed to have legally enforceable assurances that following the latest takeover, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia will not control Newcastle. Football lovers from all over the world have ridiculed these claims by the Premier League. Amanda Staveley has served as the leader of the Saudi Arabia-backed group in attempting to acquire Newcastle United. She has reiterated her point that Newcastle is not managed by the government of Saudi Arabia, which is why the Premier League executives accepted the deal. But fans and human rights organisations are asking for authenticity of these claims after a leaked image of their uniform for their upcoming season. A football team's kit depicts more than just colours, and in preparation for the upcoming season, Newcastle has unveiled their brand new 3rd kit, which shares a striking resemblance with the jersey used by the Saudi Arabian national side. A leaked photograph of Newcastle's kit for the upcoming season, the the first full season with the Saudi Public Investment Fund as the team's principal owner, went viral online. The away colours were white with a green edge, the same as the Saudi national team, and a combination previously never worn by the Premier League franchise, despite images showing the home colours maintaining the typical black and white. Since the Premier League approved a takeover in October, concerns have persisted regarding PIF's relationship with the Saudi government, despite assurances from the league that Saudi Arabia won't have any ownership of Newcastle. Amnesty claimed that the pictures proved otherwise. Hatice Cengiz, Khashoggi's fiancée, called on the Premier League not to approve the sale. She said, "It is horrifying to learn that the Crown Prince is on the brink of getting what he wants, to wash his reputation and sully the name of sport." Felix Jakins, Amnesty International UK's head of campaigns, said, "If it is true that Newcastle United is changing its away kit to match Saudi Arabia's national colours, it exposes the power of the Saudi dollar and the kingdom's determination to sportswash its brutal, blood-stained human rights record. Despite all their assurances of a separation between the Saudi owners and the club, this seems like clear evidence of the regime using Newcastle to portray a positive image. Everyone, from fans to champions, needs to resist being part of Saudi Arabia's propaganda drive, be aware of what is going on there, and speak out about the government's abuses, the mass executions, the journalist Jamal Kashoggi's murder, and a dire situation for the LGBTI+ people. Sport must not be allowed to be used like this. The players and the fans who wear this Saudi-themed shirt may well do so with genuine pride in their club's rich history, but they should also recognise that the kit represents sports washing and the PR for Mohammed bin Salman and his government. We've long called on Eddie Howe and all the club to speak out about human rights violations in Saudi Arabia. We'd like them to show some solidarity with those languishing behind bars in Saudi Arabia and with people like Hatice Cengiz, Jamal Khashoggi's fiancée. Is sportswashing effective? It is difficult to argue that the deal has met any short-term sportswashing goals given the UK and European media's increasing coverage of human rights violations in Saudi Arabia in the wake of the PIF takeover. Instead, many football fans who may not have known about the accusations made against the Saudi government now know about all the allegations. But I think most football fans have seen in social media how supporters of the given football clubs are defending its owners. Whataboutism is used a lot to support their argument, as many tend to point at everyone else that is doing the wrong thing in the name of sports, or if a shirt sponsor at a different club is tied to a state like Saudi Arabia. And there are for sure a problem for sports that states, tied to breach of human rights, who support war crimes is getting exposure in this way. But an ownership of a football club in by far the most popular league, in the most popular sport in the world, is surely as powerful a tool sports washing can be. And most golf lovers out there will also know how Saudi Arabia successfully started a competitor to the PGA Tour and DP World Tour, and has managed to get some of the most prolific golfers in the world to play at the Live Golf Tour. The likes of major winners Dustin Johnson, Phil Mickelson, and Bryson DeChambeau, and more are now leaving the PGA Tour to support the Saudi-led tour instead, to the frustration of golf fans and other top golfers who wants the PGA Tour to be as competitive as possible. More on that topic in another video. What are your views on the change of colour of the team's kit? Do you think Saudi Arabia is successful in sports washing? Share your views in the comment section below. For more of the dark side of sports-related videos, like, share and subscribe to this channel.